everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn and today I'll be playing along with the TLC Designs Sketch Easy Summit Challenge. Every month there's a challenge on the TLC Designs shop website, and it's a bundle of digital papers and images that you can get for a really good price point. However, this month it's actually free. So definitely pop on over and get this bundle while you can. It includes some nice wintry digital papers and the snow couple that you see here, which I've positioned them so that they're actually really close together, but they are separate digital images, so you can compose it however you like. I'm starting off with a 6x6 card base, and what I did was scored it and folded it in half, but diagonally, so from the top left to the bottom right. So that gives me a little bit of a different fold back card, but it's following the sketch a little bit. So with sketch challenges, what I really love is that they are a fantastic jumping off point, and you don't have to follow them precisely. It's just to give you an idea for how you might want to compose your card. So the sketch is actually for a rectangular card that is USA2 in size, but as you can see here, I am going to be making a square card. These papers, I actually have the physical paper pad that is slimline in size. So these papers that I have are, excuse me, from the Snow Family Fun digital paper pad set, and they measure 5.5 by 8.5. So what I've done is the snowy Christmas tree background paper that's going in the inside of my card, but will be visible from the outside of my card. I've cut that to 5.5 by 5.5. The solid sort of dark teal color that you see, that's going to go on the front of my card, and I've basically just cut out a triangle. I measured 5.5 inches down, and then I cut a diagonal line. So that way I can really just save the rest of that 5.5 and 8.5 sheet. You could always cut off a square that's 5.5 square and then cut your square in half. But I prefer to take as few cuts out of my paper as possible to kind of save as large of a portion as I can. In my, this ribbon die set that I purchased is actually part of a bundle, which is a fantastic deal online. And I have, as soon as I saw this, one of the things I knew I wanted to try was to do some repeat die cutting to just get the plain ribbon portion without the little motif that is actually built into the design. So what I've done is I've cut from one end just the plain portion. So did a partial die cut of just this ribbon die up to, but not including the sort of ice cream cone motif. And then what I'm going to do is just turn my die around. I'm going to nestle. I was trying to figure out if I could just get away with nestling one row of the previously cut circles or dots, but I found it more stable to lock into 2 rows of the previously cut portion of ribbon. And that helps me to really make sure that the die is aligned and will continue in that straight line so that the pattern feels seamless. And that gives me a ribbon length that is plain. It doesn't have that ice cream motif included. And look at that, I've got a beautiful stretch of paper ribbon. And that's important because while this is a 6x6 card, that diagonal, which is where I plan to use this stretch of ribbon, paper ribbon, is actually longer than 6 inches wide. It's actually closer to 8 inches, but that's perfect because this paper pad that I have, remember, I have the physical version. It's actually, it measures 8.5 in length. So getting that perfect stretch of ribbon was is awesome, and the paper pad is perfect for that. So I'm going to start to assemble my card now. So as you saw, the snowy tree background, that was adhered on the inside of my card. And you could probably get away with just using a triangle portion, so that only you're only using as much paper as what's visible from the front. But I feel like because part of this card does have a tendency to spring open a little bit because of that fold back, you just never know how much of that the tree background is going to be visible. So I prefer to just cover the whole thing. And then I don't do it in this video, but one thing that you can do is just cut out a small white square and adhere that in the on the inside of the card where it's initially covered up. That way you actually have a place to maybe stamp out a little message or sentiment and write your own message and sign the card. But if you don't want to do that, you could always just, and I do this sometimes too, add some mats and layers to the back of the card and then put your note there. So that's always an option too. Sometimes when I feel like, especially with pop-up cards, for example, where I haven't really left any room on the inside of the card, I'll just decorate the back of the card very simply, and then leave a place to sign the card there. So here I'm attaching the ribbon, and I did die cut this from some gorgeous pattern paper because I didn't want it to be just a plain solid line. So that subtle texture, even though you can't really make out exactly what that background looked like because it is such a small strip, it still makes it look a little bit interesting because you can see the color variation. And I thought about doing the same as a matte layer for my sentiment, but I decided because the paper pad does include some solid color cardstock that perfectly coordinates with the other pattern papers, I decided to use that instead. And this way I'm bringing a little bit more of that pink onto another portion of the card. And one design philosophy is to kind of operate on the rule of 3 or odd numbers. And this actually, a little bit of pink will kind of serve as the third little splash of pink on this card, because I've got some pink in the snowman's or snowwoman's scarf and buttons. Then we have a little bit of pink on that paper ribbon that we created. And now with the matte layer of pink around my Seasonally Yours sentiment, and that sentiment is included in the Snow Family Fun digital stamp set that's part of this bundle. And so I felt like that helped to balance the card a little bit and bring a little bit of that accent pink color onto the card. So I'm about ready to start attaching everything here. So the sort of that snowy background, I actually used a one of the dies from the See You in the Center die set, which helps you to create a really fun interactive card, but also has some really nice basic mats and layers to cut out these beautifully decorative frames. And so I took the smaller of the two, and I'm using the inner portion of the frame because seems to be the perfect size for my snow couple here. And I'm attaching some low profile foam to my snow couple, so I like to use this 1mm thick foam wherever I just need a little bit of dimension, but not really a lot of depth and space. So that really keeps this card a very easy mailer. It's not going to be super thick in the envelope. And when I go to attach this, I need to be careful to only attach it to that front portion. So that's why I turned it to the back and drew a very light pencil line so that I would know where it's safe to put adhesive, because if you put adhesive on this entire panel here and you glue it down, you're going to glue it to the inside of your card, and you're not going to be able to open that flap. So be careful to only attach this to the portion of the card that panel that actually overlaps the front of your card. And now I'm going to attach my sentiment, which I kind of played a little bit with the position of, I kind of like pushing it all the way to the edge of the card. So this is a super fun interpretation of this month's sketch challenge. The last thing I'll do to dress this card up is to just add some vintage drops. So these, I think this color is chalk white, and vintage drops, they'll actually dry a very matte color. They don't have that glossy shine that the regular Nuvo drops have. So I rather like that for this occasion, and bringing some of that white into this solid blue portion of the card, I think also helps to add a little bit of balance and break things up a little bit. I hope that you enjoyed my card today, and don't forget to pop on over to the TLC Designs shop website to download this free bundle. I'll leave a link to it in the description box below. And if you play along with this month's challenge, you might be in for a chance to win some gift cards and prizes. Thanks so much again, and until next time, happy crafting and have a fantastic day. Bye!